Thanks for being here. We'll get to follow Cal Ripken and Torrey Smith. That's pretty cool. But I would argue these are the most important people that you're going to hear from maybe this whole week, and that's young people themselves. My role with Project Play, yeah, please, a round of applause. Absolutely. So my role as Community Impact Director, I have the honor to talk with youth and to analyze our youth survey results throughout the country as part of our State of Play reports. These are year-long reports that identify barriers and opportunities for young people to access sports and physical activity in select communities across the country. Our very first one was here in Baltimore in 2017. We now have been in 12 communities across the country. We have 4 more coming really soon: Aspen, the Parachute, Colorado, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Kansas City, and Washington, D.C. And the most important element to these reports is incorporating youth voice into the process. Our number one strategy at Project Play is literally ask kids what they want. And it sounds really simple, but unfortunately not a lot of adults actually do it. But what's really inspiring is when community leaders ask children what they want, and then they listen and they respond with experiences that make children feel welcome. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to be listening to 3 exceptional young people here from the Baltimore region about their sports experiences. First, pleased to have Marcus Keene. Marcus is a junior at the National Academy Foundation in Baltimore, where he participates in basketball, lacrosse, and cross country. Marcus has made the principal's honor roll 3 quarters in a row. Yeah, absolutely. And Marcus is a member of Under Armour's Student Athlete Leadership Council, which brings in about 60 students from Baltimore schools each month right here to UA House for leadership training. Next to Marcus is Aliyah Carroll. She is a senior at Forest Park High School in Baltimore, where she balances a 4.5 GPA, wow, while playing multiple sports. Basketball is her first love, and she also plays volleyball, softball, and tennis. And like Marcus, Aliyah is also a member of Under Armour's Student Athlete Leadership Council. And finally, we're pleased to have Will Fullerton. She is a senior field hockey player at Marriotts High School in Howard County, Maryland. Will coaches younger children in tennis and field hockey, and also officiates field hockey. Wow, good luck with that. Real quick, she also loves climbing and participates in climbing events with Unmatched Athlete, which is a nonprofit that encourages youth who identify as LGBTQ+ and allies to participate in sports and fitness. So thank you all for being here. The theme of this discussion is sort of understanding how children's lives change for the better when adults listen to them. And I'm curious to hear from each of you, how well do you think adults are listening in your experiences to kids in sports? And by adults, it could be parents or coaches or administrators. Marcus, you want to start first?
I would say, like, with my experience coming into high school, I have coaches that I feel comfortable with speaking to. They listen, they try to understand from every point of view, and then they'll give their opinion on something. But most of the time, you come to them with a problem, not even a problem most of the time. You could come with them with anything. They'll sit, listen, but most of the time it's problems with your sport, and they'll hear you out. They'll try to give you a solution. If you don't like the solution, they'll understand why you don't like it. But most of the time, it's just them trying to see every angle of the situation and not just say something and then you don't like their response.
When we talked offline a little bit, you mentioned you've had positive coaches. You've also had some negative coaches. It sounds like we hear what the positive coaches have done, right? They're listening to you and being like a mentor. What experiences have happened maybe that haven't been as positive as you would like?
So in middle school, I had some coaches that was like negative and like didn't really give you a chance to experience like playing a sport for real, because it's like they see you mess up or see you like bring your team down, not necessarily, but like do something that messes up the team, and like they'll sit you down or they'll yell at you. And most of the time with kids, it's like if they get yelled at, that's a confidence breaker, and then it makes them not want to do anything. And that was basically a big problem with me.
Leah, how about you? What have your experiences been like in terms of adults listening to children?
Coming into high school, I definitely, like my basketball coach, he definitely had opened me up to a lot of opportunities. I'll say for one of my summers during AAU, I didn't have the best experience, and that kind of shot me down a little bit when it came to my confidence. Coming back from my last trip from that summer, he offered me an opportunity to work with Under Armour, and it kind of like that kind of made me feel like somebody actually believed in me, in the sense of you got it, you can move forward from this one experience, and it didn't let me keep that negative energy in my space.
It's amazing. Will, how about you? How well do you think adults have listened to youth?
So, in my experience, I have been very, very lucky, honestly. I have had mostly good coaches that are willing and try and get you to talk with them, try and figure out what works best, what is going to help you improve. But I have also seen other teams' coaches where it's clearly not the same case, and you have coaches actively attacking their players while they're on the field trying to play a game. And you see that when you have that kind of connection where you can speak, that's where a team is going to be better, where it's going to be better for the athletes as well as just the whole community.
Will, you've seen the perspective as both being an athlete and now as a coach. I think you coach, what, third and fourth graders?
Yes, I coach third and fourth grade field hockey and coach tennis camps through Howard County Recreation and Parks.
What experiences have you taken from your own career as an athlete? Have you done the same or differently because of what you've experienced as an athlete now that you're a coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences that I honestly did not expect. It was kind of they were asking for coaches, so I was like, you know what, I'll try it. So it was definitely a learning experience. There was a curve to it. But I feel like I learned what types of coaches worked best for me and what other types of coaches may have worked best for other types of people. And I was able to figure out what kind of dynamic is going to make it so that everyone feels safe, everyone feels like they're being listened to, and everybody is going to be able to build skills, build their confidence in the sport, and then hopefully continue playing.
Let's talk about facilities a little bit. We heard Tori Smith up here talking earlier about huge gaps. Will, I saw you nodding your head some while Tori was talking, right? Because you're in Howard County,
Yep.
right? You've got some really nice facilities.
We have very nice fields.
Marcus, first for you, could you sort of describe what your facilities are like, what you play here in Baltimore at NAF or just locally in the community?
So at NAF, it's like really small because it used to be Dunbar Middle School, and as it been a landmark, we can't really do anything to the building, but we try our best like with the resources that we have, but we also will use like resources elsewhere. Like our track team, we don't really have a field that they can run around, so we'll go practice with Dunbar. The lacrosse team uses City Springs Park Field as a home field for games and stuff like that. But it's like we don't really have resources at our school, but we have people that's willing to help us like get the same advantage as other schools, and that's just how I'm gonna put it. That's just something that we're thankful for, because I feel like I'm trying to get my words together.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something that helped me, especially for me playing 3 sports. That helped me a lot because it got me the type of training that I needed, and it helped my teammates a lot too. But that's just the biggest thing, that we can't really do anything to our building. So that's like the problem with us mostly.
Yeah, and I think NAF plays basketball games here at
Yeah.
UA House quite a bit as well. Aliyah, what are your facilities like where you play at and your experiences?
I'll say for like at my school, we were kind of lucky to have Under Armour come in, be able to do our floors over and, give us uniforms, all that. So, when we feel like people are pouring into us, it makes us want to, do more and play more, because when we feel like we look good, we want to play good. So, that's just, being given the opportunity to go out, even to our rec centers. Like, I go to Cahill and CC Jackson. CC Jackson's not like in the best area, but it gives those kids that are surrounding that area to come in, feel free to, play around with their peers and stuff. So that's a plus.
And Will, how would you describe the facilities in Howard County, where you're at?
I have been very lucky to be doing sports in Howard County. We have amazing facilities. We have every high school has a turf field with a whole stadium bleachers, with a scoreboard and everything. My specific school also has 3 Bermuda fields attached to it. We also have a baseball stadium across the street, technically on the middle school's grounds, plus a few more grass fields. So it's something that a lot of people at my school take for granted, but it is an amazing resource to have, to just be able to take the 5-minute drive down to my school and just have this plenty of resources outside to just use for whatever I need to use. So, for example, field hockey goals are usually unlocked, and I can pull those out onto our turf field, and I can practice on off days or off season. And it's an amazing resource to have.
Yeah. One of the beauties of sports is how it can change the lives of people, the trajectories of the lives of people, and open doors that you may not even know it opened. And Marcus and Aliyah, you both are part of Under Armour and the City of Baltimore's Student Athlete Leadership Council. It meets here at UA House. What have you learned from that council? What's a takeaway that you've had? Aliyah, do you want to start first?
I'll say for me, it kind of got me out of my comfort zone. Because, you're not forced to talk, but it makes you want to talk to other people and get to understand how other people feel about certain things. I've done it for 2 years now. This was my second year doing it, and this year I got a lot more open than I was last year. Last year I was more so quiet and more so observant and listening to how other people feel. And this year I feel like I was more into it, wanting to talk more. And the people that came with me from my school, it also allowed me to get them to speak up and make them want to feel more included in it. So
that's great. Marcus, how about you?
So, like what she said, it helped me step out my comfort zone. And when we would meet here, Blake would read off some of the things on the paper, and one of them was trying a process, which is basically try new things and see how you like it, you don't like it, and stuff like that. And as I seen people doing it, it made me want to do it, and it helped me step up. And being a part of the leadership council, I had one of my friends, which is a sophomore, and he didn't like to speak, and it made him want to speak up also. So it was just it just made us want to do stuff we weren't comfortable with.
Could you have done this before you went to the leadership training?
No, this is my first year.
Yeah, cool. Will, I want to talk to you some about your experiences of feeling acceptance in sports. I understand you started realizing you identify as female in the 6th grade. You became open about your identity in 8th and 9th grade. You're goalie on your high school girls field hockey team, the club field hockey team, and you're also part of Unmatched Athlete with sort of more unstructured activities. How would you sort of describe what your experiences look like in terms of the traditional high school sports and club sports environment versus Unmatched Athlete?
Yeah, so for high school and club sports, it's always been, unfortunately, a hostile environment. I've had both things occur on my own teams as well as with other players. I've had certain words said to me on field during games, and it's something I know how to deal with, but I could see how that would entirely put so many people out of just trying to do sports, especially when you have a national organization telling you can't play. That's rough when your whole team's going to a national tournament and you're told you're not eligible And so you're sitting at home while your entire team is off who knows where, and you feel like you're being kept from continuing to be a part of that team. Unmatched Athlete, though, has given me, it's a place where no one cares what your identity is. That's not the important factor. The important factor is you doing a sport. And so it gives you that escape from whatever stuff people might be trying to say, whatever ridiculous things I'm being told by coaches, players, teammates even. And it gives me that way to continue to work with a community that I know is going to be accepting and allow me to improve in a positive environment.
So despite what you've experienced, you continue to play sports.
Yes.
Why keep playing?
I just feel sports they just have so much benefit to me that I've pretty much gone past what other people are going to try and tell me about how I shouldn't be playing, because that's not what's important to me. What's important to me is getting to have that physical exercise, have that teamwork, work with other people, and just have an environment where everybody is working together collectively to build on one specific thing, where you're all like-minded and you're all working to achieve the best you can at a sport.
Yeah. Last question for each of you. What's one thing you would like this audience to know about how to improve youth sports, whether it's for you locally here in Baltimore or just something more broadly nationally? What should adults know, one thing to make it better for kids? Marcus, you want to go first?
I would say have events that is either free or don't really cost that much, because some kids, especially in Baltimore, are not exactly there financially, and sometimes they want to do stuff, but it's just like they don't have the money to pay for it, or they have the money, but it got to go to other things.
Leah, how about you?
To piggyback off what he said, I just feel like those free opportunities that you have to connect with others your age, also being poured into when it comes to like, certain people supporting certain schools, certain districts, all that. I feel like that's very important to like kids, because they might not get that opportunity on their own, and their parents might not be able to give it to them because they might not be in an environment to, or the money placed to. So I feel like that opportunity definitely gives kids the feeling that somebody wants them to do great, and even if their parents do want them to be great, they probably just can't. So that's just the opportunity definitely gives kids encouragement.
And Will, one thing that you want adults to know?
So I agree with what they're saying, but also I feel we need to be pushing for young kids to be in sports. It's a thing that I don't see a lot. It's more a thing where a parent has to look into it, and at least in Howard County, which a lot of parents do, but some kids are being left out and won't realize they would love sports. They would love to play on a team. They would, even if it's not trying to go to the professional level. It's an experience I've been able to have, and I'm lucky my parents have had me play pretty much every sport imaginable. But I think we just need to get kids playing sports.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Please give them a round of applause.